maintain free SHS in its current form.
I mean, I'm saying many Abbas no reading I respond now. Menene ya adwene.
Only Abbas no reading ya adwene. Say papa na demo ko opposition.
Obi. Amanyo sem na yeye no. And to say the contractor edi Caterpillar yi kwan na wo wi odi low bed abefa wo.
Yeah, that's what I say. Is this message for Seth, former finance minister?
Say, Amanyo Semna yeye.
Asempa FM.
And to say the contractor, and the Caterpillar ebi kwan so.
Yes.
Na ye de bit me no gu kwan so wi a ya ka tell say Caterpillar no fa so bi enye den. Enye je se ne ma me kofa no. Ne sa na ye Amanyo Sem. In politics, ano aye de pebosia no, and one ye de tua. Some akasa samfie nwotwe.
Yeah.
Ya weni ye na meda so tie.
Oche ha.
Some aba.
Yes.
Because me ni se bibi wo ho was store me kasa bo ho ba. Ora tepe mo ye lusu ye se na mo ye consultant e ma wi ase nyina ne ade ye nka masem ya ba. Ya fight ya ba. Ya ba. Ye informing up your cabinet. Even chief of staff cry yi bi anamebo transition na ekoso. Why na asoma nem from? Why na asoma?
So no train Adjei.
And I'm saying why na asoma no. Good. Or train Adjei ne de anya party position. Or kasa wi na JM akasa. Even the comment that he made on free SHS, your position is clear. Meaning say enema nyina ehase mampeni mahama so be bofoto ya enobe free SHS account.
Yes.
Ya Ghana sika nyina be come ne de be obekire. Inti Ghana for they should disregard what the former finance minister said. The position in the position of the president elect.
But we will be the president would want to listen to on economic issues.
And
maybe this is the advice or the president.
Advice and the joint news no the buy.
What say?
Huh?
Potential
finance minister. Let me tell you this. Yabro, Obi Yabro.
Yeah, potential finance minister.
Musem komo crowd do.
Me ba church waso me.
Yabro. Enu ti na me ka cho say in politics anu e de bobosia no anu editua.
Are you saying that Terkper cannot be finance minister?
Oh, he can.
Why can't he?
Okay, so why you be
paying? On the be finance minister the co-position here than say.
Okay.
Why you be? All your co-position common fund be work comes na consolidated fund sika wo you lose election o tua bi ye than say. Kwesi botwe report by your kind be any obi ahun asem e wo. Master, don't push me to the wall. Yes, don't.
Eric,
hey, stop that. You see, me, Obi, take it from me.
Yeah. Yes.
John Mahama Banya Ebe.
Yes.
What Besha Kona Subia so big anymore? Say, Honey, better not come as him.
Hey.
Oh, yes, I'll do that. And then if you some people be not me buy. What kind of opposition that from 8 years?
Command them.
Only pays and go. Me not the hunger alone. You won't conform my sacrifice election. Be more amputated. I was so by election. Unim se boys in your trouble corner. Oh, yeah,
yes.
Now, no, I call him Santry, Nipa phone, Yakumo. Last election, Yakunipa watching. Maybe how does
that change?
Terkper is not aware or appreciate.
But the man is qualified to be a finance minister.
My party now on popular in the system.
What are you talking about?
All kind of crunch. Okay, they losing that form. And me say. John Mahama Kasa free SHS no aba for life. Terkper de fa na to nchen ono na dam for ne bra chempon.
Na send the info.
What do you want nante? Masa, don't push me to the wall. Why?
There's a potential.
No, they be to the wall.
They am a tiny say for the past 3 days. I'm more sponsor fake news be in the system. And the way I say, where were they? Where were they?
It is a very bad.
Masa enkwafo abre wo kroma 8 years enkwafo abre.
It's a strong.
Yemono. Ye bottom na na yedu ya no na na ye adwuma. Ye wonkofo
in some so they waka be.
O makabi papa. Ye wonkofo so a.
Omre so be so.
Omano ye adwuma mo bottom.
So so omre be so. Meba be so.
So free SHS or cancer asem no. I saw a lot of messages on my phone.
Oh, your party for any book.
A lot of calls on my phone. Say na papa na koka. Nyame adom. His Excellency Akasa. I
bet settle BBA.
I settle no, but if you ne kono, menka so ntumi nkasa, but na need your communication adwuma no ho a.
On contest.
On careful. Yes, because massa in politics, communication maybe a twem ko NDC ne amfa ne serious and last time we was for better now so no kind communication asem ya brew ana na ban mo so mo ya ban be defense bi enkofu di free SHS ye defend the regions ni nyina sa ne ba ban mu a ye transition na wo be kirim na adwene ya adwene bi obeti party yes na adwene ya adwene ba ko yen kai pay na mo de ye ko mu before anse elusu Kabila e wana okache me say na mission because na me te border no so we hu menka sa time no na niema ahodo opi wo e betimi aya ma party for na yeso mfa so sa time no we calculate tax for finance ministry wa hwe onko ye ne calculation no where we've got into yen twimu obi ada obi now we are confident watching na check yasafo Adjei ne about no reading ne sami jamfimo you communicated the land one age na 58 film satan you go position age say into no bo makutia no more no more
na say nyo obi na ye front line bi mu share behind the scenes policy ideas and political
behind the scene your manifesto papa ya na court talk kwaje na adwene na yetintim go grad I don't want to buy unia na call building Ghana to na hwan to no ye kwagije adwene no form na twere you enti papa na ba votes na Ghana for their man jidi na yenya woni mu no yenya kasa no no hye na dwuma ase John Mahama hye na dwuma ase no si metwa tax we mu na enye me ye we na enye ya me on na president obeka president kofo ye de adwuma no ma na chopo di kan ba na eden
number of ministers
no na kan san so boa ana me boa president Mahama nka hwe minu abenadavle oye Ghana ni oye nsemchoni wa che na adwen Johan Jackson owo finance sector wa che na adwen ye nkasa ye economic management ni inform ye ana meboa Kofi Tonto ye oti ye kan mu koye placard kakra kapa na modem America ko gina kwam se mu betwa covid levy ni ade
yento aba man
tie me ba
yento aba man
America di sunu na ne kom mfifi ete ne kwan ho no sata calculation we nyina na Bernard Munimo. So after election obi kotina baby na oye na analysis me te say na ye be match ma ono ha match na wo ye say adwene ho ye be match ma wo be match ye wo bone e wadi o ma wo
be match so obe holding
one account me say ono no kura ne na hye net num deda mo no afi kura na ora ye be ye mu ho adwuma ora ye nya
retrieve all loot
wo no be my 2 months say wo be my home na say wo be home I feel now I stand with I stand with finance minister, I stand with road minister. Yes, you don't stop talking. Masa, you need a break. Because opposition we need a break, papa.
Obi.
Debio. Member Kawanu to Kofi. Oh. So we need more Mami. Obi. Dear me person.
You are holding
oh.
I am Mabunu. And I'm more dada.
Mami kasa eti me dey for mama
Kabila. Yes.
Ya ban na kasa yen setting it up.
Okay.
Enti the omoki kan nyina e court dan ho bobo. O evidence afa court.
Very well.
Se Mahama ba. No se me na me ka se me 60 ministers. Ba me hwe ye no. Ba mintumi obeka kire Ghana.
Na one Ghana.
Mahama ba. No se me na me se me twa COVID ba ko mienu mintumi a meka.
Experience man.
Because amre na ye kasa ansem ye ka kire mo se o man sika na ekuhihye mo mpass na doso ye ba baji bi e de ebu o man no ye we evidence said that pa mpass na ho ayema o man sika na mo tam editua contract en exist no e doso sa time na watua $2 million so okofa keteke fa soro ba sky train na de nam form no kra no na de no matutu odome na de fa soro ebiem samre no watam Ghana for sika $58 million e de atu amana e wo rich ni nyina ye koji sika ni bia ba samre na ye kan polugu dam alaji ba wumi aka said that will be the biggest investment e won area no contractor ni site ye no ho we pay $11 million. So that reckless spending na mo ye and ye chem say ye be use to Ghana sika judiciously.
Okay.
Amo man na nya so mfa so ni entrance na betra ka ye be hodu na wo benya time hodu ye woni suit na ye wo be court rough
Eric Adjei me da say ma na okokoso no oyede na so
I stand with so
Obi see
okay say NDC o mo twa ghost name o kwa no ne na bo
so o can say about nkofo a allegation for now make toboto
and Senator, I can say without any of that, without the hand of Almighty Allah, what these people did I tell you, they would have swarmed the country, because they had filled their ballot boxes, some printed ballot boxes and others like they do. And I've said it long ago, the NPP was not winning elections from 2016. They were filling ballot boxes and bringing it, and there was no vigilance. So today, if you hear them crying that, oh, their people didn't come out to vote, it's false. They didn't get the opportunity to infiltrate the ballot boxes and show up the numbers. So that is Almighty Allah who imbued the good people of this country, and I want to salute. This was a fight not just for NDC people. It was a Ghanaian patriots, those who love this country. So it was Ghana versus the NPP. Yes, it was the NDC that ultimately was proclaimed the winner, but I want to say that many millions of Ghanaians fought along with us. It was not just NDC people alone. And so I want to salute all the patriots who, for the love of this country, stood up to prevent the rigging of this election by a pliant Electoral Commission under the aegis of Mensa and Bosman and others who were connived with the NPP to steal the vote. But they made it so overwhelming. Senator, today as we speak, if you look at the final compilation, they added the 9 constituencies that were outstanding. President Mahama has 57.6%. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia barely has 39%. He couldn't even make 40%. So it was so overwhelming. Yes, let me commend the fact that he threw in the towel when he saw that the victory was overwhelming, and for that matter conceded. The concession was good because it helped finish the presidential decision. But I am saying that subsequently it was because, of course, it was very clear. If you can't even get 40% of the vote and your opponent is far away with 57 points, the highest perhaps vote in our fourth republic, I'm sure President Rawlings also chalked near similar feat of 57%. So this is the single biggest humiliation the NPP has suffered in an election. So I'm sure that clearly it has gone on that way. So I want to salute them. But let me also take the opportunity once again. I've congratulated His Excellency President Mahama, the NDC candidates who won in the various constituencies and others, and it's overwhelming. The NDC has had a near super majority of almost 2/3. I mean 2/3. We have even got a 2/3. But what is happening today is an attempt to claw back the seats of the NDC. And let me take the opportunity to advise or warn Jill Mensah that she should not take the peace, stability and safety of this country for granted. Senator, there is clear, incontrovertible evidence that majority of the seats, because they are saying about sometimes you hear 4, you hear 6, you hear 9. So they are saying 9 now. Majority of the seats has their results declared. The seats have been declared, and there's video evidence. I have some of them even here. And I'm sure Pan-Africa TV also even has evidence of declaration made by law, by officers who are so equipped with the requisite authority to do that. The returning officers are the officers who are given the power to make declarations at the constituency levels of who has won the parliamentary elections. Now you hear the Electoral Commission come to say that some of these things were done under duress. The same Electoral Commission which says it is not interested in determining who becomes the president or who becomes a parliamentary member of parliament is actively involved in trying to take away seats from the NDC that have been so declared by their own electoral officers. Senator, I know for a fact, and I've said it, that I wish Pan-Africa could even play it for people to see, that the law indicates in clear terms that the authority at the constituency level to decide who has won a constituency is the returning officer. And so if a returning officer makes a declaration, the only other way legally that you can reverse that verdict is to go to court. It is only a court of competent jurisdiction that has the power to overturn. And I have dared the Electoral Commission and dared Jill Mensah. She should show us anywhere in the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, 1992 Constitution, where she has power to overturn the verdict of a returning officer, or under CI 127. She should show us where under in CI 127 where she has the authority to set aside. the declaration of an electoral officer. She doesn't have that power. Senna. And so for her to announce that some of her electoral officers declared it under duress, was she there? And funny enough, she has declared the results of the parliamentary presidential election. She is the returning officer. You went through the constituency to the regional coalition and then to the national for her to declare. And today they have done the full decision of the tally of the including the 9 seats. So if you can declare presidential for the same constituency that you are talking of having been subjected to duress, then why did you declare the presidential there? Because the duress would have also affected the presidential election. Is that not same to reason? The same electoral officers who returning officers, she set it aside their verdict. In declaring the results, Senna, they first declared the presidential results. Is that not the case? So if the presidential results are valid, what will invalidate the parliamentary elections? Because if it's duress, if he declared the results and the duress would have also affected the presidential result. Is it not decent to reason? So why would you accept the presidential results and turn around and want to jettison the parliamentary elections and cite some very bizarre reason that there was a duress? And so now we also the videos. The returning officers freely under escort of police and that. And in many of those instances, the MPP parliamentary candidates were present when the results were declared. So where's the element of duress? So in any case, assuming without admitting, if there was any setting, is it up to the Electoral Commission to determine that it was duress? You can only, that issue of duress can be determined in court. So if you have evidence that there was duress and a person declared, your RO declared the results on the basis of duress exerted on him or her, you take that evidence to court. It is not up to you, the Electoral Commission. And so now I have further evidence to back it. You know, somewhere in 2022, as members of parliament, then led by our minority leader, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, we marched from Parliament House to the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission was then situated in their old offices near the psychiatric hospital. So we marched to that place. In fact, they mobilized thousands of police to prevent us. In fact, so even at a point there was a scuffle. So now I still have some this in my right leg. As a result of some wrestling we got into with some policemen to be able to get to the Electoral Commission. They did everything to prevent us. In the end, we were asked to just let 3 people cross over. Our leader and some 2 other members, to send a petition to the Electoral Commission. So now, in that petition, the Electoral Commission indicated clearly in an answer to our decision that coalition can be done when results are not yet declared. And so if coalition is demanded or recount is demanded at the polling station, there can be possibility of recount. If you get to the coalition center and coalition is done and you are not satisfied, you can ask for recoalition. But there can never, this is Jean Mensah's own reply, that there can never be recoalition again once results are declared. This is Jean Mensah herself in answer to our petition, that once a declaration has been made by the returning officer, there is no other opportunity for recoalition to be done. So what has changed? And I said that evidence abounds that the returning officers in many, Domiko Abenya, we all saw it. Tema West, Tema Central, we all saw it. Okaikwe Center, we all saw it. All these areas that the Electoral Commission has listed as areas of dispute, there is no dispute about them at all. Declarations have been made by the officer authorized by the law to make the declarations, and those are the returning officers. The MPP in cahoots with the Electoral Commission is teaming up to try and whittle down the seats of the NDC in this exercise, and that is why even the Electoral Commission can go to bizarre levels, Senna, to a point like Fanchakwa, where the returning officer who is close with the authority to make the declaration makes a declaration, and you go and bring somebody you consider a deputy to the returning officer to come and make a counter declaration. It's so bizarre and so funny that the Electoral Commission can go to. In fact, in the process of even trying to do this circulation. The Electoral Commission, which said it did not have the requisite pink sheets in a number of areas, suddenly came out with pink sheets where there were alterations written with pen. Can you believe that? When the pink sheet is filled out, you can only have duplicates, triplicates, and all those are there for other representatives of the political parties. The Electoral Commission itself has pink sheets that are altered with pen. Where is the credibility? So you can see the extent to which this Electoral Commission is getting complicit in attempt to, as it were, fiddle with the resource. And for me, I think that this is something that the Electoral Commission, and I have said it a long time ago, after this election, Jean Mensah, Bosman, Asari, Samuel Tete or yes. Samuel Tete, they should have on their own, if they had any scintilla of dignity left in them, should have resigned. First and foremost, on the bungling, incompetent manner in which they handled these elections. Senator, I'm sure you can remember, even from the time ballot papers, serials have leaked, they have to go and bend some, they have to go and even take some other many areas of bungling incompetence shown by this Electoral Commission. So after the conclusion, they should have been the first to tender and run away, go and never come again. They are not fit to superintend over the affairs of the Electoral Commission in this country again. So they must go. And I will advocate, if they don't go, Ghanaians must take the requisite steps to make sure that these people are asked from the Electoral Commission. They are not fit to be there. They are not suitable for the dispensation of free, fair, and transparent elections that we want in this country. And I think that every step of the way, we must take the requisite steps to make sure that the right thing is done. And Senator, I want to salute the young men of this country. They have saved our democracy. I cannot fathom how today, if for instance, President the Electoral Commission had declared Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia president-elect today. I don't know how this country would have been today. I can't see how Ghana would have functioned as an entity today if Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was declared president-elect, against the overwhelming unpopularity of the MPP. And I recall the statement made by our colleague Nana Ohininto, the former General Secretary of the MPP, that if the MPP can win this election, in spite of these atrocities they have committed against the country, in spite of the mess to which they have plunged this country, in spite of the terrible disaster. And I said that if NADMO had any job to do, that NADMO job should have been the MPP, to find the national disaster to quell the MPP. Because the MPP was a national disaster, which NADMO needed to have worked on. So clearly, there was no way. But the MPP still tried to make sure that they compromise the verdict of the people. It has to take, like I said, the bravery, commitment, dedication of the young people of this country to prevent the ballot boxes from coming out. So, Sana, I think that the same manner in which the good people have fought to prevent this thing from happening, I want to say that the fight is not over, because the Electoral Commission is still trying to deprive and rewrite the verdict of the people in respect of these 9 constituencies. Because coalition had been done, there is abundant evidence. And these are officers of the Electoral Commission. The EC leadership has no authority anywhere, either in the Constitution or in CI 127, to nullify the results declared by their officers. And so, to the extent that they want to do that, it's an illegal act. And the Constitution gives every citizen the right to oppose people who want to perpetrate illegal acts on us. So we must still stand up. The vigilance with which we monitor the election up to the declaration of the results of the presidential election must continue, because the EC is not done with the fraud they want to perpetrate on the good people of this country. And I want to urge that we should continue to stand up and show interest in the parliamentary elections. You mentioned that they have said they are going to do Sawam Adjei and others. I have cited on this social media this morning that the director of elections of the NDC has gone to challenge the decision of the EC to do that. And so my understanding with that, if it is properly constituted as a challenge, then it will put the process of trying to recollate those things in jeopardy for the moment until maybe the court process is exhausted or some other decision comes from the court. So I want to believe, and they are tying in all sorts of, the IGP should provide security, or I even heard at one point they say they are sending it to Burma camp to go and do the collation in Burma camp. The results of democratic elections being collated and determined in a military barracks is a huge short change to our democratic process. If they never in the annals of our country's history have we taken elections outside the jurisdiction of the constitution. Every Senate, it is not for nothing that they say that the results of the election must be determined within that jurisdiction. And so if they cannot determine the results of the election, they have to take it to police barracks, and now we are hearing military barracks to go and determine the outcome of a democratic election. It's a huge shame to this Electoral Commission, for which Jean Mensa and they should bow their heads in shame. And not only that, like I said, they must exit with the little dignity, if anything at all, left in them, and let this country get somebody who is not only God-fearing, truthful, and has integrity to come and take over the Electoral Commission and do a better job. I have said that this woman has a capacity to do anything. So even people are calling her evil and others, it's merited, because nobody who wants to compromise the peace, order, and stability and safety of this country should be tolerated.